let's take a look at our top selections for the. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Nice feature race at Keeneland on Saturday. Let's throw up the field for the Grade 2 Elkhorn Stakes. We're going 1.5 miles on the turf. $200,000 is the purse. It's an evenly matched group, Mike. Cross Borders earned over $780,000 in his career, and he just always seems to show up. Third in the Pegasus World Cup turf, third in the Pan American, and he has the tactical speed to work out his own trip and adapt to any pace scenario.
All those things are true, Dan. He's a really cool New York bred. It's one of those horses where it kind of feels like maybe he's due to get a win in one of these big races. It just feels like he can't quite get it. He was placed first in that Bowling Green at Saratoga last summer, but otherwise he tends to come up short in races like this.
I'm really interested in your take on the pace scenario for this race. We throw up the pace projector. Yes, the 4 Epic Bromance has speed. Yes, the 3 Crafty Daddy has speed. But I would think that the 6 Tide of the Sea, his best race came when going gate to wire in the McKnight 2-back. He kind of conceded to Phantom Currency last time out. I think they're going with him.
I agree with you. I don't think that they'll let another horse go this time. They tried it last time. I don't feel like you can watch that race back and feel like, you know, that's some kind of huge excuse for him not to win just because he wasn't right on the front. But I don't think they'll play games with him this time.
Cross Border handles any kind of footing. He handles this distance just fine. Let's watch his most recent performance in that Grade 2 Pan American Stakes. He got wired by an upwardly mobile horse, Churn and Burn, who got loose on him. He tries real hard Cross Border. He finishes third in this race. I think a similar trip is coming for Cross Border. In some ways, he's the horse to beat, and you could argue that 4-1 is a fair price.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. You know, you're right about everything that you said about him, you know, as far as how hard he tries. He's very versatile. He can get any kind of trip in a race. Personally, I wouldn't take 4-1 on him in this race. Dan, listen, I'm just a little bit, you know, tired of this horse. I know he's going to show up and run his race. He does that every single time. He just doesn't win. I'm going to try to find somebody who does.
Ever since the number 2, Say the Word, got a chance to really stretch out in distance, he's become a much improved animal, and Phil D'Amato, always dangerous in these long-distance turf races. Now, Say the Word doesn't exactly have the tactical speed of Cross Border. He's more of a closer, but he kicks in the stretch. Let's watch the San Luis Rey on March the 20th. He got a little bit of pace for him to attack in here. He still has a lot of work to do. And the horse that beats him, United, is one of the better older turf horses in Southern California, has been so for a while, and simply got the jump on this horse.
Yeah, I mean, this horse was taken back last time, and I feel like that was probably in an effort to get a different trip than he got 2 back in the Pegasus World Cup. I thought he ran well in here, Dan. As a matter of fact, the last 3 times this horse went 1.5 miles, he's finished very strongly in all of those races. And when you go back and watch that Pegasus World Cup, I mean, he just had an impossible trip in that race. And part of it was probably his own fault. You know, he was very headstrong early, didn't want to be taken a hold of, but he just wound up getting caught very wide throughout the running of the race. And I don't feel like he ever had a fair chance.
In this spot, he should get a little bit more pace. He should get an opportunity to get covered up, and he should come running late. Major threat, to be sure. Crafty Daddy's going to stretch out for the first time. He ran third last out, going 9 furlongs on the synth in the Kentucky Cup Classic. I just didn't see an excuse for that race. I know the horse Visitant that beat him is in good form. I thought he had a really soft trip on the lead.
Yeah, I didn't see the excuse either. I mean, that's probably not his surface necessarily, but it was certainly a race that felt like he could have won. Listen, I really liked this horse as a 3-year-old. I'm, you know, willing to say he never really panned out, and it just feels like this is a tough spot for him as he tries 1.5 miles for the first time.
Epic Bromance, the number 4, steps way up in class off a win in an optional claiming race. He was 7-1 in this spot, and we're going to take a look at it right now. Career best 90 buyer speed figure for Epic Bromance, who received a really nice ride from Joe Bravo. He got to the front, he was able to back the fractions down, and he holds them off late. Now he has to step up in class in a race with other speeds.
Yeah, the question now is, can he run a similar kind of race, or perhaps an even better one when he doesn't make the lead? Because as we already talked about, I don't feel like he's making the lead this time. He did what he had to do last time. I will not knock this horse. It's certainly the best race he's ever run, but he's probably going to have to do better than that.
One of the horses Epic Bromance defeated last time out. The favorite in that race is back for more. That's the 5, Monarch's Glen, who's a hard-hitting veteran. Perhaps the biggest angle, though, first-time Michael Maker. Maker claims this horse, runs him right in a stake. He's always dangerous with this move.
Yeah, to me, that was sort of the only thing that made me take a second look at him. I don't necessarily think any of the races he's run since he arrived over here make him a huge threat to win this race. He certainly has ability, Dan. I don't know about a mile and a half, and I don't know that he's this good.
Mike Maker also has Tide of the Sea. Now, if you look at Tide of the Sea's form, he looked good at Keeneland last year when he got right to the front. That Fort Lauderdale was a throwout. He was probably overmatched at that race at a distance shorter than his best, but he was just hopped up, rank at the start, widest turning for home, and he still showed a little bit of late interest. He then wired him in the McKnight, and he ran in the McDermott a last time out, and we'll see a pretty decent effort. Again, they conceded to Phantom Currency in here, and turning into the stretch, Tide of the Sea has a big look at this. I just think he's more effective when he's controlling the issue instead of being the one on the chase.
That may very well be the case. Again, I don't feel like you can give him a huge excuse for this race just because he wasn't on the front. He got right alongside this horse on the lead up the backstretch, raced him around the second turn, and was no match to the stretch. He still ran fine. He holds on to second. The horse that rallied up there to get third was probably best in the race anyway. We'll see, Dan. I think he's going to the front. You know, personally, I can't find the one race of his that I absolutely love. I know he won a grade 3 at this distance 2 starts back. He beat Temple that day. This field is way better than anything Temple's willing to bring to a race.
Potential sleeper in this race is the 7 North Dakota, another late bloomer trained by Shug McGahee, who took advantage of a closer's race to win a blanket finish in the Red Smith 2 starts back. Don't hold the Pegasus World Cup against him. He was just in a little tough that day, tried to come from far back after a slow start. He is going to get pace, I think, to run at here, and I think on his best, he fits.
I think he does too, and it feels like he's probably going to be a fair price in this race. This is a horse who really got better with racing last year. You could see the improvement coming down at Tampa. He continued to improve throughout the summer, got the graded stakes win at the end of the year going long. He also got very, very unlucky in that Sycamore prior to that over this turf course and this distance. And listen, when you go back and watch that Pegasus World Cup turf, I mean, I sort of feel the same way about him as I do about Say the Word. I just felt like he kind of had a no chance trip in there. Jose Ortiz didn't break sharply from the gate and just sat last. You were not going to win that race swinging wide from last.
Fantasioso up from Argentina, where he was a Group 3 winner. Distance is not going to be a question, but you never know what you're going to get from these South American-based horses, and this might be a little bit of a step up in class.
It probably is, and he just feels like a bit of a crapshoot in here. I guess you could call him a little something of a wild card, but it's not like he ships up here, Dan, and finds some kind of soft race for the level.
Graded stakes winner Channel Cat was wired by Tide of the Sea in the McKnight last time out in the Fort Lauderdale 2 starts back. Kind of got into a bit of trouble. That's kind of been this horse's problem throughout his career. He finds traffic in many of his races. He does have several races fast enough to win.
Yeah, he does. I mean, you're going back 2 years to get to those races, but he does have them, I think. He got the sort of signature win, that graded stakes win at Saratoga in 2019 when he just got a great ride from Saez on the front. But he actually backed that race up with a couple of other really strong efforts in grade 1 company. So, I mean, he's got a race in him that would make him really tough in here. The question is, can he run it?
Top pick time for the grade 2 Elkhorn Stakes. I'm going to the outside. Red Knight ran very well in this race off the layoff last year. Bill Mott's going to try the same pattern. This horse really likes Keeneland. Not only did he finish second in the Elkhorn in 2019 Elkhorn, but he also won the Sycamore last year at this distance. And it seems as he's gotten older, he's gotten a little bit easier to ride. He, like the winner North Dakota, probably took advantage of a fast pace in that Red Smith.
They did. I agree with you, though. This horse is talented enough to win. He's fine off of layoffs. He's even run well off of longer layoffs than this, Dan. And it just feels like as he's gotten older, he's just not as difficult to ride as it used to be. Cost himself a couple of wins, probably. I like him, too. I put him second just because I feel like Say the Word is going to get a little bit of a setup here, and he just might be the strongest finisher.
That's where Mike's going. Say the Word from Southern California, 210. I'm going Red Knight, 10-2. It's 210-7-1 for Mike, 10-2-4-6 for me. The grade 2 Elkhorn, really nice feature race at Keeneland on Saturday. Best of luck.